So trade being described as coming to a standstill. What sense are you making of the little activity we're seeing at the moment?
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me. I think the market depreciated marginally again yesterday by 0.14% against our expectation of the fact that we were thinking the market is going to go up this week on account of the appreciation that the market recorded last week, Thursday and Friday. But I think maybe we guess the market is just awaiting the final resolution of the current downward review of the budget assumptions and the possible impact on the Nigerian economy and the Nigerian stock exchange. And that's why we are seeing the little depreciation we're having in the market at the moment, and so the market remains flat. Well,
the budget preview review is just one of the items on the investors' agenda in terms of what they're looking out for. We've also got, we heard news this week of the harmonization of the AMC bill finally coming to the fore. What impact have you seen that have thus far on the banking sector?
Yeah, for the AMC, of course, the basic objective actually is to take out the toxic asset of banks from them and they free up some liquidity for them. We think for the market, it's going to improve the banking and activities and going to enable them to begin to lend to the real sector. The current credit freaks that we have in the banking system is on account of the huge provisions that they made late last year. But if these assets are taken from them now, giving them bonds which they will be able to, they can sell or use to raise money, I think it's going to free up some assets for them to begin to lend. But in terms of they lending to the real to the stock market, I think there's going to be a cap on them. You recall that about 2 weeks ago, the Central Bank of Nigeria came up with a particular guideline on margin trading and margin lending. A cap of maintenance margin of 120% has been placed on banks to lending. So, and I think it is a good development. Banks should begin to look on how to create credit, how to impact on the real sector of the economy as against lending to the stock market ordinarily. But I think that's what we need. We think it should happen. But the budget assumption that was that the federal government is planning to review downward at the moment, I think it's good that we align our assumptions to the reality. But I think it is not.
Sorry to interrupt you, but talking about realities here, we've also got the very contentious petroleum industry bill in the spotlight as well. It's looking to be passed before the next election in the country. And yesterday, a trader I was speaking to highlighted the fact that, this is going to have a huge ripple effect when it comes to the real sector, as with the deregulation of the petroleum industry comes the hiking up of prices as well. To what extent do you see this having implications for growth prospects like players in the consumer goods space that have recorded phenomenal growth over the recent past?
Yeah, the petroleum industry bill will have impact on the Nigerian economy. You recall before now, a number of operations in that subsector has been done offshore, but now that we say no, this has to stop. We just have to build capacity. We just have to retain part of the monies that the country is generating from this area. And I think it's going to impact on them. But I think I mentioned before that the major impact we are going to see is going to be on companies that are actually operating in the upstream sector of the Nigerian oil and gas industry. We have a couple of them that are listed on the stock exchange. We have the AP, Africa Petroleum, and O&O. The other ones are just petroleum marketing, which I don't think is going to have much impact on them. But across other sectors, we have insurance is going to, increase the business they do with the oil industry. In the banking sector is going to increase the business they're doing. So, I mean, on the general whole, it's going to be a good improvement on the Nigerian economy.
Let's hone in on just one of the oil marketers, though. I mean, operating in that space, we've got Mobil, that share price climbing the maximum 5% allowed on a day in yesterday's session. What's giving that market or that counter the impetus that we're seeing?
I think they reported good profits last year. They equally reported good first quarter results. They gave good, dividend, And again, the fact that they are paying generous dividend, I think investors are taking advantage of this. And if you look at the market in the last 2 weeks, the market has actually dropped significantly. Yeah. And so having dropped significantly, investors are thinking this is very attractive at the current market price. Let us key into it and take advantage of the low price ahead of earnings to come.